This is Richard Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour podcast, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs. How are we doing, Kansas City? It is Friday, July 27th. We're headed into the weekend. I hope y'all had a great work week. I know I sure did. It's been a wonderful time out here with the family. With training camp and everything going on, it's just been a blast. So, I want to start today's program, which isn't going to be too long of a program. There really isn't a whole lot of news coming out of training camp today, other than watching these seasoned veterans get out there and dominate on the field. I want to start off by talking about the injury list today. There's one worry that I have. Reggie Ragland has not been on the field at all. He's having knee issues. And, they're limiting him to the things that he's doing. And when I mean limiting him, he's not practicing. So that's one of those things that I hate to see that. And, we hope Reggie can get back out there. He's been a great mentor to Braylon Speaks and Dorian O'Daniel and guys like that. And I hope to hear O'Daniel's name a little bit more. He's really explosive in college. And I really hope we get him out there on the field and he can produce like we know he can. Kareem Hunt, limited practice because of a hamstring, but per Big Red, he says he's doing okay. He just wants to take every precautionary measure possible, and our medical staff with the Kansas City Chiefs is arguably the best in the NFL, so I don't really look for us to have any issues here. Hunt's all right. We just want to make sure that he's ready to go for the season. And we don't want to tweak that hamstring anymore. We need him, peak performance for week one, and he'll be ready. We did have a signing today, and it's not any huge news. It's just to add depth to the defensive line. We waived Mike Purcell in late May, but signed him back this morning. It looked like we need some depth on the defensive line, and sometimes even a player getting cut early in the year, they will bring him back, and that is the case here. So we needed some depth on defensive line, and he's bringing that to us, and that's super awesome. So that's just one of those things that those moves are going to continually happen throughout the course of training camp and preseason, so don't be surprised by that. We're trying to cut down to a 53-man roster, and we want as many possibilities as we have, so we can polish that roster as much as possible. So, with all of that being said, there's a lot of talk, which is kind of amusing to me a little bit, but also, in the NFL, anything Kansas City Chiefs, anything news at all, we report it. So, regardless of how minute it could possibly be, there's been some talk that we're worried about our defensive backs because they're getting burnt so much in practice. And look, y'all, I need you all to understand one thing. We have the best skill set positions in the NFL, possibly the best skill set positions ever in the history of the NFL, and possibly the best quarterback ever in the NFL. So all those reports of, we might be worried about our defensive backs. No, don't be worried about our defensive backs. Why would you be worried about the Kansas City Chiefs defensive backs? Everybody gets burnt by Tyreek Hill. Everybody gets burnt by Sammy Watkins. And if they don't get burnt by him, they're going to get burnt by Kelsey and Hunt. So, look, we're going to report news. That's just how it is. There's a bunch of analysts that will say what they want to. Fans will say what they want to. But don't get caught up and worried about our D-backs being burnt in practice. Like, what do you expect? What do you expect? I mean, Eric Berry is out there getting burnt. So please tell me how that in any way affects our defense. And then, that's just one of those things that it's a pointless argument. A pointless argument. You can't say that our defensive backs are having trouble when they're going up against some of the best players in the history of the NFL. That's just a a ridiculous argument, a ridiculous thing to put out there, and so Chiefs fans, don't worry about that. Don't even think twice about that, because that's not an issue. We're not going to go up against an offense that is as potent as ours. So just let that rest, and look forward to what this 2018-19 season brings. It's it's a never-ending process. Training camp is a big deal. We're polishing what we're going to put on the field, but I will not listen to the argument of worrying about our defensive backs going up against possibly the greatest quarterback of all time and the fastest player in the league, the second fastest player in the league, the two best bump and run receivers in the league, the best tight end, and the best running back. What do you expect? So that's just one of those things that I really would like to see that rest, and it is what it is. Everybody has their question marks, and everybody has their assumptions and their worries, and that's okay. It's okay to worry about those things, but just look at the bigger picture. Look at the overall team. Don't pick apart our D-backs because they're getting burnt by the best players in the NFL. So, with that being said, there was an interview today with Sammy Watkins, and the headline was "New Year, New Team." Sammy cut his hair for the first time in 14 years, and me personally, that's one of those things that is what it is, but that can change the whole man's perspective on life and his professional career. So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip with Sammy Watkins, the interview today on Chiefs.com. So please enjoy.
I just woke up one morning and just decided to cut it, and kind of just wanted to be different this season, and just be about business. I had it for maybe 12, 13 years. I'm 25 now. I don't want to be 40 with dreads, and I just decided to cut it.
When was that you woke up? Was it right before camp or earlier this summer?
It was 2 weeks before camp. Just decided to cut it. No, not really. I just feel like it was just time to cut it, and I just decided to do that.
On the field, you had a great connection with Pat today. How do you feel like you're settling in with the offense?
Got the plays down, but of course we got so much to build on with chemistry and working with the guys. And I mean, the playbook is so bright, you can't sleep on it. So every day we got to go over it and go over the installs and stuff like that. And we're not where we need to be. That's why we have training camps, and we just got to continue to build from the OTAs. Of course, with all the guys, I mean, you got so many special guys that put up big numbers last year and the years before I got here. So it's really just to come in and be myself and add my game into this team that was already one of the top offenses. You got, like I said, 4 or 5 guys that are already making the Pro Bowls and 1,000 yards and leading in their position. So for me, it's just to come here and add my fuel to the fire.
Sammy, with the number of quarterbacks you played with, what stands out about Patrick that might be different than Tyrod or Jared or those guys?
He's a confident guy. He got a big arm. I think you guys seen the day overthrew me, and I was running pretty fast. So for me, it's just to really just come and build off of him. And he's a special guy. And we just got to help him out, and we got to be on the same page.
Sammy, what's it like to bounce from learning from Coach McVay and now Coach Green, 2 offensive gurus in the league?
It's special. They like things a certain type of way, and if you're doing it that way, you're going to get the ball. So for me, it's just to come out here and master the offense and do what he like, and do what Pat like on the field and running a route a certain type of way, and just getting in the spots and staying in shape and being available.
Sammy, do you feel like you have that chemistry with Patrick? You made some nice catches.
Of course, we got chemistry just from work from OTAs, but we got to get on the same page. As when he look at me, I know what he's thinking. He know what I'm thinking. And of course, we're not there yet. We got to go through this training camp and play a couple games together, being a real game, and get to fill each other out. And until we do that, we don't know what it is. I mean, practice is great, but until you got live bullets flying at you, that's when it's serious.
Sammy, and then the hair thing is what are you? Is there part of this looking this year like maybe this is a clean slate for me? I want to
Yeah, you can say that. New year, new team. Trying to have new aspiration with this team. Championship, Super Bowl. Great stats, and try to lead this team to with championship, division wins. That's my goal.
What do you think will make this year maybe a little bit different?
First of all, I just think we got a great staff and great organization and great team. I don't have to come here and be somebody that I'm not. I got great guys that's going to make plays, and I can feed off those guys. I don't have to come and make every catch and every play. I know if I'm not getting the ball, there's other guys that are going to go out there and score touchdowns. Yeah, I can just go out there and run my route, and if I don't get the ball, I know Travis or Tariq or Kareem going to run the ball, and we're going to score touchdowns.
Travis was just saying that you're a really quiet guy, that if he doesn't see you walk in a room, he doesn't know that you're there. Are you always that quiet, or is this just getting acclimated to appear in this team?
I'm just very observant. I'm a quiet guy. But with my group, we know each other. We kind of joke and have fun. And the more I be around the guys and the coaches, I can fill everything out and talk a little bit more and joke. And he's with his guys, and we kind of in our room, so it's kind of different. But I can be funny, laugh, joke, and have fun.
With the dreads, did you cut them off yourself? Did you go somewhere to have them taken off?
I was up 3 in the morning. I just started clipping them off, and I did everything myself.
How long did that take?
About an hour or two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have to have anybody come even it up, or did you just leave it?
I did everything myself. I got the clippers and everything, lined myself up, everything. Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the interview with Sammy Watkins. It wasn't just about cutting his hair and all that, which is awesome because he's got swag. He lined himself up. He took the clippers, he cut it down himself. But it's nice to hear what he said about our offense. He is a quiet guy, but like you said, he's observant. He's really, really absorbing his role, and that's what's the most important thing here in Kansas City. So I really enjoyed that interview. It was nice to hear him talk about, all of our other impact players, and he realizes that it's not just about him. He doesn't have to make every play, and there's playmakers around him that are having 1,000-yard seasons that, they're productive. We don't have to worry just about what his production is because we'll know we get production out of other players. So I find that to be pretty important, and I really enjoyed that interview. So I think I'm going to leave you with that tonight, Kansas City. There really wasn't a whole lot of news coming out, just an injury report and that one signing. I hope we hear back from Brashad Braylon and Eli Rogers, and we'll see what happens with that. And I think that we'll find out more about that here as the week goes on. We're headed into the weekend. Braylon is at the Indianapolis Colts right now, interviewing with them. So we'll see how that turns out. But with that being said, Kansas City, I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy that Kansas City barbecue that we love so much. So, anyway, hey, go out there and eat some Gates for me. Go out there and eat some Oklahoma Joes. Get in some barbecue for me. I miss it. I miss Kansas City. I love y'all. This is Richard Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour podcast. Have a great evening, Kansas City.